Hi, Ron Harrison here. I'm here to talk about the power of using index plans for retirement. Now, I'm a part of Five Rings Financial. Five Rings Financial has about 8,000 people just like me around the country. And what Five Rings Financial does is we help people protect and grow their money. And we don't do anything in terms of investments or stock market risks or anything like that. We use safe money plans. And that's particularly important when you start thinking about your retirement money. And the information I'm going to share with you can be used at any age for anyone, especially those people who maybe are 1099 employees, um, sole proprietorships, even people that have corporations, S corps and LLC, use some of these index plans because they love the fact that they can never ever lose a penny when the market crashes. So we're going to look at some money basics and some things about taxes. Then we'll talk about how these plans work. So first of all, let's look at the financial continuum. And we think about the financial continuum, how our money works in different areas, right? The first one is, of course, savings and CDs, bank-based plans. And of course, we know with those is you have very little growth, but of course, there's no market risk. Now, you also have very little return on those. Index plans, what we work with. Index plans, you get stock market-like returns, but you do not have any market risk. That is really important if you want to have it as your sole retirement plan or investment plan, whatever you want to do, but you're not going to lose any money when the market crashes. Now, the third thing are mutual funds. So mutual funds are collections of stocks. And you can have good returns on those, but you can also have losses, right? Like in 2008, 2022, when the markets lost like 19 and 28%, whatever it happened to be. Then finally, you have individual stocks. Individual stocks are a lot more volatile. Like if I invest in IBM or Apple, well, one stock, if something bad happens to that one stock, it all goes down, right? Whereas if I was in mutual funds, a bunch of stocks, it wouldn't go down as much. Or if I was in index plans, it wouldn't go down at all. So that's the difference between the types of uh, financial strategies a person can use along the continuum. Now, what options do you have for your money? In nearly every plan, your money can go up, your money can stay the same, or your money can decrease. So some people say, well, what about the savings and CDs? My money can decrease. Well, conceivably, banks go out of business, don't they? So you could lose your money that way. But really, that's not necessarily going to happen. But let's just talk about like when you have your money in the market. Three things can happen in the market. You can go up, you can stay the same, or you can drop. Which of those three choices in that little box in the left-hand corner down here, which of these three choices would you want to get rid of with your retirement money? Well, most people say they want to get rid of the decrease. They want to get rid of the loss. So then in any year, your money either goes up or your money goes sideways. Wouldn't that be a great thing with your money? So diversifying your portfolio, you're going to protect some or all of your money. Now, the truth about taxes. Now, there are three tax buckets essentially. The first tax bucket is tax me now. And this is where there's billions and trillions of dollars sitting in savings accounts, CDs, things like that, investment accounts that people like day traders and such. We pay tax on that every year. Even in your savings account that earns a little bit of interest, Uncle Sam requires you to file the 1099 for taxes every year, even though you've made just a little bit of money. Then there is tax me later. Tax me later would be they're called deferred plans like 401k, 403b. You can see it, we call it the alphabet soup of IRS because all of those things are pretty much under the IRS umbrella, right? Now I also have these, look at the buckets there. The red bucket, red is bad, red is stop, red is negative, right? Well, that's the purpose of this bucket. Be careful with that. The blue bucket, blue is it's just kind of marginal, just kind of there, right? Well, what's the other color that would be awesome? Well, the other color would be green. Green is go, green is good, correct? Green is money, isn't it? So if you think about that, there are only three places you can have where you never ever get taxed, except at the start of it. And that is Roth plans, municipal bonds, and then the flex cash plans that we do. And we do flex cash plans through permanent life insurance. Permanent life insurance is the #1 way to have tax-free money later in life. Now, a lot of people say, life insurance, no way, I don't want that, I don't want that. Well, don't think about the vehicle. Think about what the vehicle does. Think about what it does. The IRS is very, very lenient to people who have their money growing in life insurance plans. Rich people have been doing these for decades, 10 and 20 years, more than that even, because they value the fact that their money can grow tax-free and they can pull it out tax-free. No implications from the IRS. That is really a smart money move, isn't it? Now, the other thing about taxable money, making sure your money is taxable, look at this. Let's just call that a $1,000 bill on the screen. Well, if your money is in taxable plans for later in life, 401k, 403b, those sorts of things, when you start taking money out, let's say you take out $1,000, your local government, your county government, your state government, and then Uncle Sam, they're going to reach in and take 30, 40, even 50%. We have no idea what taxes will be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, do we? You're left with 60% if you're lucky, $600 out of $1,000. Or if you take $10,000 out in a year, you're going to bring in or be able to keep $6,000 out of that $10,000. How about if you had this $1,000 bill? How would that be? You get $1,000, you keep $1,000. You get $10,000, you keep $10,000. That is a smart money move, never having to pay taxes later in life. Really a smart money move. So we just talked about growing taxes, growing tax-free, and taking them out tax-free. Now let's talk about the vehicle, these tax-free index retirement plans and what they do for you and how they work. First, they're flexible depositories of money. I have clients that they might put in like $300 a month, and then when they have a good month in their business, they just go to the phone app and they say, hey, take $500 out of my plan, put it into this account. Really, really a smart money move, right? Can be primary or secondary retirement plans, depending on you. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of people that do these plans. They have 401ks at work. Then they do these plans separate from the 401ks, so they're going to have multiple piles of money later in life. It's an option to a Roth IRA. Now, Roth IRA, we saw in that green bucket. Now, Roth IRA is controlled by the IRS, so who sets the rules on Roth IRAs? The IRS does. We have no idea what they're going to do, right? The other challenge with the Roth IRA, most you can put in is like $7,000 or $7,500 a year. I have a client with a tax-free plan that we do, puts in $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year. So you can have unlimited contributions. Tax-free financial diversification, IRS approved, but not under IRS control. Be used as a banking alternative. Have people that they're be their own bank. It's also called infinite banking. You can reduce the risk because of this strategy, certainly stock market risk. Now, some features of it. It grows index up when the market does well, locks in when the market crashes. Really smart. Your money grows tax-free, as we've talked about. Accessible, completely tax-free at any age also. With Roth plans and IRS control plans, you have limits on when you can access your own money. That's a pretty sad state of affairs, isn't it? Well, the tax-free plans we do, you access that money whenever you want. It's your money, free and clear. And the gains are locked in every year. Unlike the stock market you might gain in a year, but next year you could lose all that you gained the previous year. Our plans are locked in. It's kind of like an escalator, up, sideways, up, sideways. Access the money for any reason at any time. Plus, since these are under the umbrella of life insurance, you have the life insurance component. That's the most important thing for what I talk to my clients about. Get that solid foundation under your house of financial assets. Now, index plans versus stock market. Let's talk about this. Now, it might be kind of difficult to see the numbers right here, but the idea behind all this is the fact that the market in index plans goes up and sideways, up and sideways. So if you look at this column right here is index plans. Look at the growth that those had. This column is the S&P 500. Look at all the negatives right there. This column is the Dow. Look at all the negatives. But bottom line, look at how this money, the comparison with index accounts and the two main stock markets. Index accounts have outpaced the stock markets. Now let's take a look at a picture. Look at this. Indexed account is the blue line. Stock markets are the green and the red line. Where do you want your retirement money to be? Where do you want your safe money to be? In these plans, we have people that fund these for retirement. A lot of people fund them if they have like a savings account. They put that savings account in it. A lot of people do monthly contributions or a combination of those two things. Lots of things people can do with these accounts to fund them. But I think you would agree that at least having some of your money on this blue line is much better than having all of your money on the red and the green line. So that's how we help people. Now, the last thing to talk about is how all this works with what I call the triangle of money. Really an important concept. So if we think about our triangle of money, there are 3 points of this triangle, and this is how your money works. The first point is to grow your money. One variable is the amount that you put in, 200, 300, 500, 1500, like one of my clients does. So that's one variable that you can control. Another variable you can sort of control is the rate, and I mean the rate of growth, right? Now we know that in the stock market you could have a minus 19% like in 2022. You can't control that growth. At least in the index plans, your growth rate is 0 is the worst you're ever going to get. So the amount of money you put in and the rate that it grows are going to determine your pile of money. Then the last thing to talk about is the time that you have. How many years do you have for your money to grow? That's called the compounding period. So somebody like me who's a little bit older, I don't have as much time as somebody else, so I'm either going to have to put in more money or have greater returns on my money, or a combination of the two, right? Somebody who's younger has more time for their money to grow, so they may not have to put in like 2,000 a month like I might have to. They might do really well with this doing 500 a month because they have more time for their money to grow. So that's the basics of what we do, how we help people with index retirement plans, and they're very easy to set up. And when you think about doing that, the next steps to set these plans up, or at least get more information. I taught high school for about 20 years. I was always about get information first, then you can make an educated decision. So let's think about this. So the next steps would be, what might be your contribution budget? Might it be 300 to start, and the next year you could kick it up to 500 a month? Or might it be 500 a month to start? Most people say, and in the financial industry, you want to set aside at least 10% of your take home. Really, I mean, a lot of people do 10% of their gross, but it probably should be 10% of your net. That should be the money you set aside for retirement, especially if you've done nothing for retirement. So determine what your contribution is. And that's flexible when we do these plans, but at least to do an illustration for you, I need at least some sort of a starting point of how much you'd like to start with on a monthly basis. Then once you have that contribution level, just let me know, and then I will do an illustration for you to show what these plans can do with that sort of a contribution over time. So thank you very much for letting me do this for you. Take a look at the top up here. There's my phone number, my email address. Shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to talk with you, answer questions you have, and then at least put together an illustration so that you will have a great idea of what the possibilities are for your money, for your retirement. We even use these plans for children to set up. We call them $1 Million Baby Plans. So those can be done too. Same ideology, the same ideas, but just like a different pile of money. So thank you very much. Take care, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.